Welcome to School of Thumb, the series that asks plant experts to solve your common garden guesswork. We're pruning back gardening to its core and getting you the answers to the questions you've been asking across Australia. This episode, we have 3 experts from Victoria who have bucket loads of brilliant advice. Jack, the flowering fanatic. Steve, the indoor plant professional. And Michael, the green space specialist. This episode, we meet a gardener who needs more flavour in their life. We're talking herbs, how to grow them and where to put them to get delicious results. So, experts, recently I dropped in on Steph, who is a keen cook but needs help getting some delicious herbs in her garden. Should we take a look at the video?
Let's do it.
So, Steph, you've got such a nice front yard there. What is it that you want to add to that space?
Yeah, I really want to make sure that my outdoor area is really open and welcoming and homey so I can spend more time out there in the summer with my friends and family.
That's a big backyard.
It's such a big backyard.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities you could do.
So here's the big question. When you're renting, do you want to invest in the ground here or do you want to create gardens that you can take when you go? What do you want?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think with renting you have some limitations there. But yeah, I'd love to pour my heart and soul into some things that I can grow here and take with me when I move on to the next place.
Renting the house, that's the challenge.
It is a challenge, but
Yeah.
so many people are renters these
Yes.
days.
What do you cook and what do you want to be able to take from your garden?
Yeah, I love cooking all sorts of things like coriander, spring onion. Is that a herb? Go with it anyway.
Yes.
Thyme, things like that that really add that extra vibe to a dish.
Yeah. All right, so what question do you want to ask our experts?
Love the experts' advice on how to make my outdoor area more welcoming and open, but also to bring in this beautiful herb garden that I can bring into my kitchen as well.
Let's get Steph adulting and get her growing some herbs in the burbs. Even if you're a renter, you pick the right crops for the ground
Yeah.
and then the right things for the pot. So what should she be actually putting in the ground there?
In the ground, I'd be putting the plants that are the annuals. So you plant them in spring. Once you've harvested the basil and the basil's no good anymore, you're going to pull it out anyway. So don't waste your pot space on your patio with that sort of thing.
So what are the herbs that she should invest in pots for?
Anything that's a bit more perennial. So an annual is something that only lasts for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
A perennial plant is something that lasts for a couple of years. So a lot of those woody herbs that we have, so thyme, oregano, rosemary, they're all perennials. They've got that woody nature to them.
Okay, so she does have a lot of things in little pots. And I mean, that is a real renter thing, isn't it? You know, like keeping things small. But she's gonna need something bigger, right? What sort of size? And is this a real financial investment to get things big enough?
Keeping him in small pots is just going to create more work for herself. I think, starting at something around the 30 centimetre mark and, just applying some mulch on the top or some straw.
Yeah.
Just to
Of
keep
the pots.
Of the pots.
So you've planted the things in the pots and then use some straw or mulch.
On the
Yeah.
I prefer to use straw, I
It
think.
keeps the weeds down
Yep.
and holds the moisture in.
I think we need to give Steph a little confidence around getting her babies to go the next step. Jack, do you want to join me at the workbench?
That'd be great.
Well, these herbs and this soil look good enough to eat. Look at that.
The most important thing when you're growing anything in any kind of pot, and especially herbs, is to use really good quality potting mix that will feed the plant from the roots up into the plant.
What have you got here? What are you going to take from little to big today?
Yeah, so we've got some beautiful things here. So some marjoram, some thyme, some mint, all of the things that would really thrive in Steph's garden. And she can use this kind of beautiful aromatic mint in so many different ways.
Okay, this is the sort of mint that you might use in a savoury dish, right?
Absolutely. You could use it in a savoury dish, but you could also put it in drinks as well.
That's what Steph needs. She wants to entertain in that space. Okay, all right. So how complex is it to pot up a little one?
It's really quite straightforward. So there's a few things to keep in mind. Always use really good quality potting mix. You really do get what you pay for. And also choose a plant that looks lovely and healthy. So this one, he already looks happy, doesn't he? And then I'm just going to be very gentle with this plant as I just gently upend it, so I'm not pulling it straight out of the pot. We're just going to give it a little tease out, just gently, so that those roots head in the right direction. And then we'll just place it in. So I've already pre-filled this so that it can sit just underneath the rim of the pot.
Yep, now let's do this.
We don't want it to be too compressed around the root zone at all. We want lots of nice little air gaps so that the water can saturate through. But then we also want to make sure that we give them a regular feed with fertiliser so they really thrive and they grow and they can feed us as we feed them.
So simple to take the little babies and grow them into big boys. Or girls. Well, there you have it, Steph. There's your solution to growing plenty of herbs and keeping your meals delicious year-round. Bon appetit. That's a wrap on our episodes from the beautiful garden state of Victoria. We'll be off to New South Wales next, so keep an eye on your socials for more episodes soon. And keep an eye on your local nursery. There could be a School of Thumb forum on your very doorstep. Till next time, happy growing, Australia.